Hey guys, welcome to another stream and at long last, I guess, stream on the Terminator tonight. It's been probably 6 weeks to 2 months since I did anything on the Terminator. It's not that I haven't had parts, I've just been doing everything else. You might notice if you're a regular watcher on my channel, right now my cameras are a little bit set up different, the lighting is a little bit different. Been having some issues. I had my main bench light go out, and at the same time it's been, because it's LED, it's been causing flicker on a couple of my cameras. Past couple of days, all of my cell phones that I use through Discord, or not Discord, through DroidCam have been acting up and not talking to my computer, and I think I just figured out what's going on with it tonight. That Bing was Kenny making a comment on Discord about somebody's build, but I think what's happened is my hardwire to the internet is right now acting up, and so my cameras weren't liking it, and so it's just screwing everything up. But I've gotten it to up to where it's running, and should stay running. If not, if the DroidCam doesn't work, I have multiple cameras. I did it last Tuesday. I adjusted which bench I was on and everything else. The lighting is a little bit better tonight. If you were here on Tuesday, I had warm white lights instead of cool white. I've replaced the bulbs in those three lamps up here right now with cool white lights. I just need to figure out how to configure them so right now there's a glare off of my head. But I need to figure out how to configure the lights now to where they're not so overbearing. I bought the brightest lights I could find on purpose. Hey Kenny, you didn't miss much. I've been on for about 3 or 4 minutes. I just realized I wanted to keep the stream going on my computer just so that I can see and make sure it's still working. Okay, that's better. I'll be switching that over to just the regular DroidCam in a minute, or not the DroidCam, the Facebook in a minute. So, want to say my apologies to Donnie. I forgot that he plays D&D on Saturday nights. So, you can catch the rerun of the live stream. It'll all be the same except for you won't be chatting. And let's see, anything else? Well, it's been a busy week. We finally got into the hot tub. That thing is awesome. We've decided, since we're in a cold weather climate, we're going to have half walls put around it. They're going to be about 3 foot short on the top. I'll go about to within an inch of the ground on the bottom, simply because that way we've got privacy in there, and we're going to leave an opening so that we can get out through the out to the yard through there. Went out, mowed the yard today, even though it rained a little bit. My beard is full of static tonight. And getting really close on a couple of models. Funny thing happened on Tuesday, and anybody who watches the live stream regularly will know that I was really excited to work on the Enterprise again on Tuesday, but I got issue 3 again. I talked to Eagle Moss that day, and I talked to him again today. Issue 4 should be on its way. Other than that, not a whole lot is going on. Just living in the COVID world, which my wife and I were actually talking about that, and it didn't affect us as much as it did a lot of people. And I think it's because I've been able to just simply go into telework mode, and probably will remain in telework mode. Speaking of my wife, she's right now upstairs watching a unique, in my experience, event. My grandson is going to the prom up there, but 9 schools are doing a get-together for the prom, and they're televising it. It's either via a TV station's website or maybe on YouTube. I'm not sure, but she's up there watching that because they're doing the whole red carpet thing and everything else. So I'm down here building a Terminator. So the last time we left off on him, we were up through pack 50. Let me move the camera, switch the camera over so you can see. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that it didn't look as bad as it did, because I use a Roku. I use a TV for my monitor where I have OBS going, and it looks terrible, but it doesn't look too bad here on the main channel, or on the main camera. So at this point, where he's up to a pelvis and one arm. Back of his skull is still off. A lot of things going on. I've got up through issue 10. I got issue 10 in this week, but Agora inadvertently left out the magazine, so I couldn't build it if I wanted to. Contacted me, and they said it's on its way. They're still really good customer service, best customer service in the business for these large part works. So let me get him out of the way, because I'm not even sure if we're going to need him tonight. And my mess is a bench. Actually, my bench is a huge mess right now. I've started shifting things off of the bench, shifting builds out of this room, so that the storage, when they're not being worked on, they're not in here. That simply gives me more room to work. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. Because this will be, hopefully I'll have time to work on, put this together. Something, I was talking to Kenny. This is the HLI soundboard or light board. I was talking to Kenny because he doesn't like to use the pins, and he's not seen or had missed on my videos where I use these pins like this, which I don't usually use the pins like this, but with these pins, if you have female Arduino wires, you can make your life a whole lot simpler. Get this in here, because with these, there we go, except for I'm out of focus. And of course I don't have the envelope I used to keep here handy. So with these pins on here, see the pins? You don't have to solder. Once you solder the pins to the board, you don't have to solder anymore. You just use the Arduino jumper wires to tap off of there. And to me, that makes really good sense, because you can still hurt the components on the board if you heat the board too much. Like I said, I will try and do a video. I'll solder the pins to the board, and I'll solder a bunch of lights to a jumper wire, and I'll show you how simple it is then on that board, especially since each leg doesn't have, where traditionally most people, I have traditionally, when you're doing a light circuit, you have two legs. You've got positive and negative. And with this, you still have two legs, but one of your legs, the positive leg, is going to be shared by all the lights, which is kind of unique. It's going to be different for some people. It's going to be different for me, but I like it. Actually, today we had a bunch of sales. Halfway through your stock. That is awesome. What's this? That little tiny circuit board there is the one that you designed, Spencer. I don't know if you designed it. I think you did, but you've worked on it, and it's an awesome little board. It's the HLI SFX 001, which can be found if you go through the links in my video, in my description. That'll take you to the community. You hit home there, and then you go shop, and you can get to the boards. Really nice little boards. Seen them in action. I am still working on getting the time to wire mine up. Anybody who's on HLI or watches HLI or Kenny Compton knows what that board is. It's a great little board. Cannot wait to put it in my Voyager. So stage 51 here. This is the parts for stage 51, and these are pelvic parts for the Terminator. Let me see, where is it? I'm missing one thing, is of course it's across the room. Unlike my last couple of videos on the Ectomobile, all the screws come with it, and I've got them all. I've stopped keeping track of them really tightly because they give you enough plus a couple of spares in every issue of this. So we've got the pelvic plate, the hip socket, muscle connection, okay, so super glue and a cocktail stick, which instead of a cocktail stick, it's right here. You can see I've got a lot of tools. Mess here. Been working with magnets here lately too. But instead of a cocktail stick or a toothpick, what I've got is, man, I am sorry about those shadows, guys. But what I've got is a pin. Oops, went the wrong way. A pin stuck into the end of a pin vise. Not a problem, Kenny. I'm glad to do it. You do fantastic things for the community, and I want to repay the favor. Plus, it's your fault that I stream these days. I probably never would have gotten into it if you had not bought a house. Okay, so actually we do need the Terminator. Let me get the screws out of the way. Let me see what I'm going to have to do to get him in here. I'm going to have to move the magazine. Okay, take assembly from stage 50. Identify the two holes in the pelvic shield. This looks like I've got him facing the wrong way. And it says to identify these two holes here, and of course it's out of screen. So there's two holes here, and I believe that's what it's talking about. So I'm looking at this, and it looks like actually this is the correct way. He should be on his back. He should actually be sitting up on something against something. So it's talking about these two holes down here. Let me see if I can get it to zoom in. That should be good. So these two holes here and here, I believe is what it's talking about. So this goes in here, and I'm doing this where I can't even actually see it, so let me lift him up. And he is supposed to go down. Ah, I see what. So what you didn't see, what was stopping it is right here and here is a slot for these. Oops. You can see right there, there's a couple of, I guess you'd call them tabs, and these pins have to go down. Well, I had the pins in, and I was trying to slide it in, and it wasn't fitting, so what I have to do is do the whole thing at once. When I do that, pushes down, and it's flush all the way around with the way it's supposed to be. Not sure if you can see that. Matter of fact, because we're doing at such an odd angle, let me see. Yeah, this one's better. I can actually bring it over and point it down. And this is the part that I just put in, with the two slots up here and the pins down here. So it's supposed to fit in there. Top edge is flush with the inner edges of pelvic shields, which it is here and here. Apply a little super glue to the recess of the hip socket. Oh wow, I didn't even catch this. On the hip joint here, it does actually pivot. So let me switch cameras again. Hello, Cody. Move this one back a little bit. So we've got the joint here for the hip and the hip socket here, and it says to apply a little bit of glue. I'm going to back this back out. It's always easier to hit a larger area. Okay. And it says to apply some glue here, here, and here, and then make sure I've got that's on the right hand side. It will be, this will be glued down on here like that, on these two pins. So let me move my tape patch, which everybody knows I use the tape patch to put my glue on. I'm going to move it a little bit further. It's off camera so that it's not in the way, because this Terminator is getting so big. Come on. I had this glue open today. Again, my cheapo stuff. So you apply the glue in these spots. I'm going to double check and make sure. In recesses of the hip socket. I'm just making sure there's no, and it looks like this can go either direction. Well, there's no pins or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to apply a liberal amount in here. Do the same thing on the other side. Get a little bit more. And then put that part on there, press it down to where it's firmly in place. I'm just wondering how this piece is gonna tie in here. find something I can, there, use a roll of tape to prop him up. So you can see I've just put that part in there. Shows the hip socket in place. So, oh, okay, so this piece is left over at this point. I'm just making sure because it shows the hip socket in place. And I want to make sure, comparing to the picture, yeah, that is the right or the left hip socket. Hang on, I may have made a mistake. Well, let me see if I can pop that back off. Of course not. Oh, wait. So, don't be me. I'm working on the left hip socket. And I'm supposed to be working on the right hip socket. So let me see if I can get the arm back here. That would have been, it wouldn't have been that bad. It just would have been interesting if I had to do everything on the wrong side. Of course, this joint that I've been having trouble with since I first put it in here, the shoulder joint, is not playing nice, but I got it in place. So now, let me redo this on the right side instead of the wrong side. Fortunately, I realized that soon enough that this glue had not fully set. And it's a good thing I'm using cheap glue so that I do have time to fix problems. Okay, let's try this again. This goes on here like this. If I can get it to line up, okay. Actually, that's a snugger fit anyway. Okay, so that's everything out of stage 51. 52, let's find stage 52. 52 has pelvic plate, outer and inner muscle, and a muscle cap. This is all going on this side of the body so that he doesn't have that piece of rib hanging out there doing nothing. So let me pull these parts out of here. I just realized something. I will show you guys something later on. I don't know. I know I may have mentioned it in other live streams. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on Discord, but he has a gun that you can get from Agora. I don't like it. I'm not that impressed with it. I found something to replace it that I think is a little bit better. And it was, nothing against them, but it was a whole lot cheaper. They want about $80 for the plasma rifle, which a lot of people are getting, and they're modifying, they're putting lights in it and everything else. I spent $15 plus $10 in shipping for what I replaced it with. Okay. Sorry, it's Saturday night. I'm partaking of a little bit of Fireball and Coke. So as has been done before, this muscle piece fits through here. And you can see there's narrow end and a wider end. It goes through the wide end, comes out the narrow end, and it's going to so far it looks like it's going to be pretty loose. And it says to super glue this cap, which is hollow all the way through. Ah, I see. Super glue. Hang on. I'm gonna make sure that there isn't something that's stopping it. Okay, that's why it was hitting a stopping point and pushing this down. It's just the flange down there. So let me put this back together. It says to super glue this cap down in place. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's gonna want the glue around here. Nothing is going. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Let me drop this part out of the way. It says to put super glue right around the ring here, and it's basically where these raised pieces are that are so that it will hold in place. That actually sets it in place a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and move him up just a hair. Let me apply the glue, and I'm being pretty liberal with it. We get it all the way around there, and instead of doing it the way they were saying, which is put it on there. Actually, I will. I'd hate to get it in there and not be able to push the actual muscle part through. So push that down, and it's pretty snug in there without the glue, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And then it says to take this piece from the previous previous issue or previous stage, and do the exact same thing, except for right around here. Oops, out of camera. Right around here, if you can see inside this flange here. So let me do the same thing here. Apply a liberal amount. Set that down while I put out more glue. And that's actually the end of that tube. That tube is out. Grab another tube. So, other things that might be going on around here, just because my wife doesn't have a full-on space yet. She does, but she doesn't. She's got the garage where I was originally, and we're hoping to get her arthritis under control to where she can start doing her stained glass again. And if we can, rather than have her sit out in the garage in the sweltering summer or the icy cold winter, I will probably be giving up some space inside the shop here for her. I'll just take a couple of tables out, or take a table, maybe a second one, and we'll work it from there. Sometimes her projects get pretty big. She needs space to put the project on and a space to use her grinder. So we'll have to see what we can do. And so since this is dope, I was going to say, since that's round, there's no specific way this has got to go on here other than it just goes on, press it all the way down, nicely captures that, I guess you'd call it, it's called a muscle It captures the muscle. And I'm sure what is going to happen eventually, maybe, I would think it would go here, but maybe not. Something's eventually going up inside of here, and I thought it might be this that would slide in here like that, but it doesn't fit. So it says to take this assembly, which was last worked on in stage 51, and this 4 smaller pegs on the bottom here, identify them, and I'm sure it is okay. This is a push fit. It is not glued. I figured it was gonna be glued in. And let me switch over here. So where this goes, and the 4 smaller pins go here in these 4 spots. I think, actually. Let me take a look. Okay, they've got him. Hey, look, found more glue. Okay, so they've got him face down, and this flat spot here, okay, just goes in like this. That's not going as far as they're showing it. Ow! Be careful of sharp spots. That's because I was missing with the pins. Okay, so like I said, these 4 smaller pins will go on here, 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 and here. Actually, it's going to be these 2, and it is just according to what it says in the instructions. Those are going to be just a push fit, not a glue fit. Come on. Can't really tell if I'm getting the pins lined up. That looks like it's lined up, but it's just not going in. Ah, there we go. That got that, and there went that one. Hopefully you guys should have seen that because it's on camera. This one popped in, this one popped in, and it's firm in place without any glue. So we've got that, and the muscle still. So in stage 53, that's 54. Stage 53. Have a leg joint section, hip socket, muscle connect, or hip socket here, inner side muscle, and muscle connection. Okay, so this actually goes down here. It's part of the leg. It might be that by the time I'm done, the bench is not big enough tonight. Nice. The ball joint on there. So somehow I'm pretty sure this is going to go on here, or on here. Sorry, I'm on the wrong side again. Trapping part of this stuff. And need tweezers, optional, and super glue, and a cocktail stick. So they've still got, okay, they've got him back to face up. So he's completely face up, which means switch cameras again. Hope you guys don't mind the switching of cameras all the time now, because he's so big he doesn't fit in camera. So fit the inner side muscle. This is the muscle that goes in here. I'm sure it fits down into that socket. It says push it in as far as it'll go. It's not fixed because, so handle it with care. Apply a little bit of glue to the, wouldn't have mattered that much that I had glued it on wrong, because this one goes on right now. But it's good to know that I was able to fix it. And I'm out of camera. So a little bit of glue on both sides. And it goes on these pins here. There. These pins right here. Just like on the other side. Interestingly enough, it looks like I have a little bit of lag between my camera and OBS. So that's both hip joints in place. And these are left over. It's kind of funny, they tell you to put this in here and then they don't tell you to pop the ball in there. I know that's coming, and if it isn't, I can get it back out. And that was all there was for stage 53. For stage 54, this is going along quickly enough, guys. I think we're going to do this whole issue. So, leg joint section. Remove pieces from previous issues. Let's see, leg joint section, outer muscle, inner muscle, muscle cap, all the same things we've just seen, and the inner side muscle. So the first thing you do, just like the other one that I just saw, must have been the way the light was striking. There is a slight rub mark there. Oh, other way. Yeah, you can't really see it, but to the naked eye, there's a slight rub mark. Not going to matter that much because it's going to be inside of here. Pop that in there. And again, glue around the top of the muscle cap where these parts that stick out are. I guess you'd call them tensioning points. Sorry, I'm off camera. Putting glue on. And incidentally, haven't said it tonight, so far all the pieces I've been working with tonight are plastic. So that slides down in here, like that. Pushed it down, leaving the, you know, the inner muscle is still in there, but trapping that piece. And of course, do the same thing to the other end as earlier. Oops, not on the inside. Damn it, I did get glue in there. Get that glue out because I would hate to have something grab that's not supposed to. I've fused all the glue that's over there. Let me put a little bit more down. I love these little tubes because at about 50 cents a pop for the tubes, probably less than that. I bought these a long time ago. Might have been like a quarter a pop for these things. I don't care if it dries out. I just throw it away because I got a bunch more. So that will push down in there just like the other one. And now we have a match set. And it says take this, put it up inside of here. Ah, and look at that. Now they tell me to do that. Push in place firmly, not using any glue, leaving this part and the muscles left over, and this from a previous issue. And for stage 55, it's fitting the right joint mechanism to the right thigh. This, instead of being in a plastic bag, was in a box. And I can see inside there are some, I see some nuts. Okay, so it's got 5 nuts, no screws, surprisingly. I can see why, because they're going to tell me to. It says also needed is the leg joint from sections 53 and 54, or stages 53 and 54. In other words, these, and super glue and a cocktail stick, which tells me these nuts here are just going to be glued somewhere on the leg, this leg piece, probably right here. Sorry, I'm off camera again. They'll be glued right here. So it says, first thing it says to take these 2 parts here. So it takes these 2 parts right here. This one's face up, as is this one. Matter of fact, let me make myself a little bit of room to work. Put the book up there. Let's see. So let me get this out of the way. Put these over here. So it's got, you can see it here. It's got that part up, that part there. This larger piece is up here on the top, and it slides down in here. I'm looking, okay, so there's a couple of pins on here. You can barely see it there. There's a matching socket in here and here. So it goes around goes like this. They show it with tweezers here, and what they do say is they show the tweezers there for clarity, but you have to, and I had to spread it apart a little bit to fit the pins down in. And these indents fit around the rim, so it is just a pop in place part. Then you take the right side, and like I said, right here they're saying glue these nuts down, it's because you don't have the screws, I'm sure. So we glue the nuts down in place so that they don't get lost. Yeah, I agree with you there, Kenny, but it does happen in the summer. Wait, there went my G rating. Damn it. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue around the outside, trying not to get it into the hole. And instead of grabbing it with the tweezers, instead what I've done is I put the tweezers through it so you can see that it's holding it that way. Come on. I think. Not quite. Come on, get in there. I think I'm gluing myself good. That one just is not cooperating. Yeah, that one is in there, but it's not in there well. So let me try a different tack. Take that one out. See if I can get that out. Yes, indeed, Kenny. Yes, indeed. So instead of trying to glue it that way, I'm going to try and get it set in there. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing. Here, I got my screwdriver out for nothing tonight, looks like. That's a better method because those are tightly in there. I'm going to set them in. Hey, Too Tall, welcome. I'm going to set these in here. I'm going to use the needle nose pliers to push them fully in place because then they should be set in correctly. And then after I've got it set with the needle nose pliers to where it's not going to, or shouldn't pop out. Yeah, so that worked a lot better. You can see how the two of them are set in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a drop of super glue over the top of them just to hold them in place. Working on the T-800 stages. I'm actually on stage 65 right now, and I'm probably going to go right past what I claimed I was going to do and do actually, sorry, 55. I'm going to go right past what I said I was going to do and actually go ahead and work all the way to stage 60 tonight. Because I can never do less than a 2 hour or hour and a half stream, and we're only at about 50 minutes right now. Nope, that's not in there right. Might have to be in there right though. It's kind of stuck. That's better. Let's see if I can get this stuff out. Yeah, that glue did not do any favors for this hole. So I got the old glue out. Nice. 77 Firebird. I'd love to have one of those. I'd love to have any old school, any of the older cars. Miss those days of cars that you filled the oil and checked, or that you not filled the oil and checked the gas, but that drank a lot of fuel just because that's how big the engines were. Not complaining about my Jeep. It drinks pretty well. So, like I said I was going to do, I just put a drop of glue on this right around each one of the nuts. Interesting. This camera does not like silver. So now it says take this part here. Oh, now see this. There's multiple pins here. Just gonna pin here, a pin here. Hang on. All right. So there's a pin here. Come on. There's a pin here. There's a pin here, and one down here. And those pins have got to line up with holes in the main piece. And I just realized, guys, the reason that I keep missing, I'm used to the camera being about 6 inches further this way, but it was casting a shadow, so I had to move it. So this thing just slides down on here like that, probably sticks onto that glue. Now it shouldn't stick onto the glue, but you can see how it could also, it should have held those nuts captive. Where did I put the screw box? I know the screw box is here. Hate it when I do that. Oh, I hid it in plain sight. It was right underneath the orange screwdriver box. Nice. So let me throw this spare nut in here. So once that's on there, yeah, so it says lay it on the tabletop so everything's lined up. And that's where I was originally going to stop, but we've been going for 55 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and press on with stage 56 through 60. stage 56, and there is a lot going on in this stage. We've got the hip joint, and you can actually see them. I'll set them on top of the graphic for them. We've got the hip joint here. We've got the inner casing, the outer casing for the hip joint, domed cap. Let me see. Feels like, yeah, hip joint and the domed cap are metal, as is the outer domed cap here. And then we have 5 18mm screws and 2 8mm screws, 1 spare of each, as always. This might have been worth waiting for. You know, Kenny, cars aren't that hard. Don't sweat the outside or the inside. Worry about the outside. I'm not sure how good I am at cars these days either. So this gets flipped over. You set the inner hip casing in here, and there are some screws. There are some lugs in here for screws. You can see the 4 of them right there. This has to slip down over them. Let's see if I can do it while it's up there. Maybe. So that slips down over them like that. Wow. You should be really good at cars then. I don't think I'm horrible at them, but I need some work. And so the hip joint now goes through here. They show the striations on the hip joint. Oops. They have them parallel to the length of the hip joint. Take the model assembly. Let me move these out of the way. Terminator's got to come back over. Move this leg over here. Oh, good Lord, this thing is heavy. They got them face up. And we are putting it on the right hand side of the Terminator. And there are a couple of cutouts in here, and those have got to hit. Looks like they go in here. Is it vertically or horizontally? Okay, they will go vertically. I don't think I could get this on camera, but inside there's a couple of tabs that this has to fit onto. So this will go down in here like this, and I felt it drop down on there. Stay. So this is the first screw of the night. Come on. Then get the bag all the way open. I'm sorry, I was reading the chat as well. Yes, indeed. That's what she said, Kenny. Okay. I think I may have screwdrivers away, but I don't. Doesn't look like it. They're not in there. The orange one's going to be too big to fit in there. There they are. Matter of fact, I wonder. There. I'll use the blue one from the other night. This goes, nope, it's not long enough. So I'll use this one. It should. You've got to be kidding me. It's not grabbing. That one's definitely not going to grab. But this one is. So let's drop the screw in there. Hopefully it won't be a pain. Wow, I actually got the threads. I think I did. There. Get that ball back down in there. Tighten this down. It says the joint will be loose, just to make sure it's tightened all the way down. Okay, that was, I thought. That's tight. Guten tight. And it says the joint is going to be really loose, which it is. The cap and the rest of the pieces are going to be what tightens that up. So it says to fit the, once that's down, you fit this over top. Doing it the same thing, it's got to drop down over those screw lugs. And then this piece is going to do the same thing. This is where everything is going to get tightened up. So that fits down over there. Using this cap, which again has to fit over top of those. And there's a little curved spot that the top of the screw lugs is going to fit into. If I can get this on there right. Maybe. That's on there. So let me try getting a screw down in there. That one's not going to work. That screwdriver should. That doesn't feel right. Okay, it is going into the hole. For this one, I have to stand up, which I normally don't have to. But let me make sure, see if these are all going to drop into the holes like they're supposed to. These should be dropping all the way down to the nuts that I glued in a little while ago. Okay. No, that's too big. That tip's going to be too big. Maybe this one. I'm going to try and make sure I've got all of them threaded first. And I can't even tell if I'm getting any grip or not. That one's definitely not gripping. Pardon my fat head while I make sure I get this thing back into the hole. Still not. This could be interesting. I can't tell if any of these are started. It doesn't feel like it. So let's just find out. Nope, not a one of them is started. This is going to be a pain in the keister. Let me see if I'm missing something by not reading and just looking at pictures. Nope. Let's see. That looks like it's in. This is where the evening gets interesting. Come on. That's off, that's way off. Better. That one's got a grip. So let me see if I can get this one to get a grip. Sorry about that, guys. I'm off camera again. That one's gripped. Means these last two should be easy. Maybe. There's that one, at least in. That one started. And that one should be. Yeah. So let me just go around and make sure they're all good and tight. That one's got quite a ways to go, it feels like. That sounds tight. Come on. The funny thing is, I wonder what they expected you to do if you didn't have tiny screwdrivers like this already. Don't get me wrong, I love Agora compared to the others out there, especially Eagle Moss. I love what Eagle Moss sells. I don't like their business practices or their customer service is not at fault. Their customer service is doing the best they can. The customer service people the company itself's customer service is not that good. Much better. Was a whole lot looser than this. Now it moves around. Yeah, I've got about a, weird as it may sound, I've got about a second delay on my video. I already have one of these. So that's that leg. I'm actually I'm liking that leg a lot, the way it looks. This box can go. My trash can's getting full. Size 56. It looks like most of the parts that I've got left in this magazine are going to be finishing up that leg. Maybe a couple parts after. All right, Kenny, I'll talk to you later. You can catch, you can catch the rest of the stream. And too tall, not a problem at all. I do the same thing when Kenny streams and when other people stream. We watch and we chat. And thank you. This has been an interesting model to build. It's actually, this was the first model I started on the channel that that has been built from beginning to now. The rest of them I started somewhere in the middle, except for the Enterprise, and right now I'm missing, or I'm not missing, I'm waiting for more Enterprise parts. Okay, so these parts are the hip plate. I love some of these really, really technical terms. This would be the right leg part. Right leg part insert, and then some Allen screws. Nice. So I need to make sure I have Allen stocks handy. Lay the model on the work surface as shown so that you can access the hip joint and cap. Oh, they've just got him facing the other way, so I will flip him around. Let me just double check if it says any glue, because if it doesn't, I can get rid of my tape. Allen key provided with stage 26. So it must be in the box over there. Oh. Ah, yes indeed. Allen key from stage 26. So let me move this stuff out of the way. Let me pick him up, move him around. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, that arm straightened. Got more parts right here. So first thing it says is to take the hip plate okay, so the hip plate in the sockets I just finished putting the screws in. These pins are going to drop down inside it. Oh, come on. Don't die on me. There we go. My camera was a little behind. So these pins are going to drop down into these holes. It shows two V pieces, but it doesn't, or see two V pieces. It doesn't show that they're in any particular place, so I'm going to put them in the front and back. Push that down in there like that. Take one of these. I shoved my knife over. There's it goes. Take one of these Allen screws. goes down in there like this. I'm just starting to thread it. And this obviously is not the Allen stock. Hang on, let me see if it's handy. If I can find it. If not, I have others. Yeah, I do not see the Allen stock that they speak of. So, let me see if I have the right one. That Allen stock must be for the aftermarket finger kits. Man, right the first time. Look at that. Take that apex out, put it back in the box. Plug this one in here and tighten this outer cap, which I'm sure this outer cap is also helping to hold the whole thing together. And Kenny says he's out of the fire pit, but I know he probably has the phone with him and he's at least listening. That takes care of that. It says to take the leg part and insert the insert, and there are some tensioning marks on here, some raised places. Push this in. Does not need super glue, I don't think. Yeah, it says there is no glue needed because it is a tight fit, which is correct. And it has a slight gap left when you're done. So it says that at that point, we're done at this point. So let me get out 58, which looks like it's called the right leg plate. It looks like it's an outer part of the leg, or it could be just a support piece. So you've got, and it's plastic, so it's not support, it's just going to be cosmetic. So there's that, and 6 screws, two 16mm, 4 4mm. So this is going to fit on here like that, I think. Yeah, just in there like that. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get his shoulder rotated around. Someday I'm going to stop having to rotate this shoulder. That helps if I just move the shoulder out. And it still rotates really well one direction, but not so well the other. See if I can get him to hold himself up a little bit, which is not working. Maybe there, that tape. Grab this, move him up a little bit. And I apologize for the choppiness, guys. I do not know why my cameras are being delayed. Okay. So now that that's on there like that, so you can see him. Indicates how it fits in this ride, fits the leg. There are 3 steps talking about this leg piece. I see. From the inside of the thigh, 3 small screw holes in the part. Okay, I did all that to get this to where you could see it. And instead, you need the inner side of the leg. Wow. Interesting thing I just saw. Let me switch cameras to one that's a little bit easier to move, and this is loose. The thigh is all intact, but that is loose. Now, I don't think I missed a spot where it said to glue that. So we'll see what happens. We put this back in place. Nice rub mark there. And so it says there are 3 screw holes. One here, one here, one here. I think it's those 3. Let me see. Actually, it's this one, and this one that we're putting screws into. And these are the we use 3 out of the 4 mil screws on there. So let me put the apex back, the hex head, get the screw, the cross point on here. Whoops, missed completely. I'm hitting the screw hole, but I'm missing the piece on the other side where the screw is supposed to go into. There, that's better. Well, actually, that pulls that down pretty far. I did not. That's why. I was up pretty high, basically, from where it. When I had it in there, when I had sat it in there, it was up pretty high, and actually it needed to go a lot further down in. So let me get this one. Did the same thing, pushed it out. This is pulling it back up. And then the last one. That is tying that piece, the outer leg piece, in place. This one is a spare screw just like normal. Got a spare of the larger one, and it says to take this piece, the leg piece with the cap. This screw is going to go through here and into the hole right here, except for I'm holding it up the other wrong way. So it'll go drop down in there like that. Tighten it down. It should be able to move, I'm thinking. It may get actually attached. No, there's going to be something that attaches back down here. Just tighten it down, leaving it able to move a little bit. And it says take note not to over tighten it. Replace with those 3 screws. Basically, this is how it looks when this stage is done. 59. has that's interesting. This does not look. I see. 59 and 60 were so close that I mislabeled them. One I just had was 60. This one is 59. The only difference between the two packs is that piece there that sticks out from the circle. That would be the, it just says right leg joint. Then this is the tendon. Center for joint. Looking what they call this, 59. Ring for tendon. Just some small parts and more screws. So the first thing it says is to take this part, and there are 3 little lugs on there. They're going to fit into these 3 sockets. And it says to glue it on there. So let me get some more glue out since, let me double check, I think it's dry. No, it's not quite. It says to apply the glue to the inside of these recesses. And that blob should be enough to go all the way on all of them, but let me just make sure. So apply that in there, and then slide this down on top of here, getting the lugs to line up with the holes, and glue it like that. I need to clean off my pin because it is starting to collect massive amounts of super glue. Good as new. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. I got glue on myself. So take this part here and very gently, there's a little knob, there's a little point on here. You can see where they cut it away from the sprue. So this, yeah, there's a small recess on one side. It's on the top side now. You don't see it on this side. Set this on here, on that recess. Set it down while I get the screws out. There's a screw in here with a flange on it. So this will fit on here like that. And then this flange screw will screw down into, by the way, this is plastic part. Screw down into here. This is actually, I can see a change, an update that they made from earlier, because I've had these before and they did not have that flange on the head. And I've had to back the screw out a little bit because I went too far. But this should let me tighten it just a little hair more. And what'll, rather than going through, it'll compress it a little bit better. Take the thigh muscle. And this one is marked with a 1. I don't know if I can get it to where you can see it. can barely see it right here. One's marked with a 1. I'm not using this part here. It's marked with a 1, and it goes, the curved piece here goes out. I need to turn the Terminator over on his back, which means I need to move these screws. Again with this arm. There, that's better. So the curved part of this, it goes in here. The other one will go in here. But the curved part, or slanted part here, goes to the outside. So take one of these 2 long screws here, like this. Put it through here. And it's only got threading on the very end, which means it's going to allow this thing to move pretty freely. Grab the other screwdriver to make sure it's tight. Leave the hex key behind. So that's going to hang there for right now. And we have this assembly and this assembly left over. I'm pretty sure at some point this goes in here. So pulling back 59 or 60, which I thought was 59. Got another cap like this. Got another muscle. Another one of these ratcheting pieces. The same little rubber cap. And a few screws. When I finish with this one, the Terminator will officially be 1/2 done. Or the whole build, because I'm guessing that the base, I haven't seen anything of the base yet, but I think the base is actually, you build it yourself. Let me move these extra screws over here with these. And again, do the same thing here. We're going to glue this piece, this black piece, into this silver piece. Let me get out a little bit of glue. There it is. And like I did before, just run the glue around the inside there. Key thing being that it doesn't matter how much I use in here, it's not going to ever leak out to anything. And once this piece is in place and it's actually torqued down where it's going to be, there's no way it could come out anyway. So there's that. I set it over here with the other one. Same thing as I just did. Let me get a screw ready. So same thing, got the same raised part, recessed part in here, put this on here, put the screw with the flange through, tighten it down. And that's that one done. Except for this one. So there is a slight difference. This is the one from stage 59, and it's just round. Stage 60, round on one side, hex on the other, because a nut falls in there, or goes in there. Let's see. Okay, it does not say to glue it in there. It just says put it in and make sure it's flat, which means that we're going to put a screw through here pretty quick. So that's in there. Let me set it down. Take the other muscle assembly. Let me double check something here, because this is okay. Never mind. I was just looking and it didn't look right, because this exact piece, I thought it was going to go here, but it's not. Need to flip him back over. And on this lug here is where that one's going to go, again with the slanted piece towards the center. Again, it's with one of these just thread screws where just the end is threaded. So that'll go through there like that. That seems like a really long screw for that. I don't know. Let me double check what the screw number, which screw it is. 12 millimeter, and I think that's an 18 millimeter. Yeah, the 12 millimeters. Sorry about that, guys. It is not the same screw as before. It is a shorter one, and the threads run all the way up. So let me slide this in here. See if I can get it. It's a little bit difficult with the leg there. Let me see if I can get the leg to drop forward. That's better. Now I can actually get to the screw hole. And I'm even still in camera. So this just tightens on here, like that, and I can feel this piece pushing a little bit. I think it actually screws into this little piece here. Tighten it down, still has to be free to move. Oh, and this one has a 2 on it. I didn't look because I knew I only had 2 of them. So now let me put him back up here because we're doing something with these other muscles. Take the tendon. So take this tendon. And it goes in the front. And I got 3 pieces hanging here. Which one is this? Okay. And they've got him back over again. Sorry, I keep rolling him back and forth, guys, but it's easier for me to be looking at the pictures the same way they're in the magazine. That did not sound good. It sounded like a screw's loose somewhere. Alright, so this tendon front right thigh muscle, so here. Like that. Take this one, and it says to turn them back over. I wish they'd make up my mind. So this one goes on here, on the back thigh muscle. So the front thigh muscle has a screw on, okay, the screw is on the outer side. Face outward. Okay, so this part should face outward. I'm looking at this, guys, and I'm not quite, it's not quite making all that much sense to me. Because somehow, I wonder if I can sit him up, and that'll make better sense. Somehow, these have got to line up. So this piece with the nut, which, let me double check something. That would make a huge difference. I see what I did wrong. I put the flange towards the inside here. On this one, the flange, alright, sorry about that, guys. So on this one, the flange, this flange, or the that piece right there, where it's a little bit angled, is on the outside instead of the inside. I had it on the inside. Hopefully this will change everything. because it just didn't look like it was going to line up at all. I'm going to leave that a little bit looser than it was. So now this is supposed to end up on this side. This is supposed to, yep, actually that now fits. Let me take the longer screw here. Take the longer screw and has the flat to the outside. Flat to the outside there. Take the screw and it's easier this way. Where is it? This hole here is where that screw is going through. So it'll go through on this side. Of course, the nut has to be towards the inside of the thigh, or it's still towards the outside of the leg, but the inside of the thigh itself, inside of where the joint is. Tighten this down. I'm actually contorting myself into a weird position because of this, just so I can see it. And now that leg actually kind of works. He now has the front thigh muscle, or actually rear thigh muscle, front thigh muscle tying down here at the knee. Okay, so that's what he looks like at the end of this stage, actually at the end of this issue. Let's see if I can get him. He's not going to balance really well because he doesn't have anything else. You know, he's missing a bunch. Wow. Well, he doesn't fully sit. But he comes close. Let me see if that other camera is. Okay. So this is, man. There is a screw loose somewhere inside there. But if it doesn't affect him, I am not going to mess with it. Sounds like it's up under here. So, there he is in all his glory. He now has part of a leg. These are knee joint pieces. They're going to go in something like, and I'm off camera. They're going to go into the knee joint sometime in the future. They're going to fit together like this. There's going to be a screw that goes in there, but that's for another day. So let me flip over. Let me see, I still have a camera pointed at me. Yay. Okay, so a lot of work tonight. Did a full magazine instead of just 5, instead of just half. He is now, with that being stage 60, he is now halfway complete. Pretty impressed with him. He's getting larger. Still got the left arm, left leg. Still got a lot to go, but he's getting there. It's an enjoyable build. I shouldn't have left it alone for 6 weeks. If I hadn't left it alone for 6 weeks, I would have a better idea of what is causing, what screw is in there that's loose. But hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting it on. Like and subscribe, you know, all that noise. I want to give a shout out to Kenny Conklin from Hobby Link International. He was here earlier tonight. He's doing a bang up job running the community over there. It's a great place to go. I highly suggest you go over and just, you know, if you like models, look around. Very likely you'll find stuff you like. It's my home away from home on the internet. I'm over there all the time. I'm posting a few things, and just stop by and hope you check it out. Also want to give a shout out to Eric, who's been here through the whole stream tonight. Check. Not good. I just found a loose piece, so I got to find out where that popped off of. Eric, who's Rascals Hobbies, Donnie Dougherty, who dropped in before the video just to complain because I'm doing it on or actually he did that on Discord. He wasn't able to make it because he plays D&D on Saturday nights. I forgot about that when I started this stream. Spencer Wolf, who I believe did a lot of the designing on this chip I showed earlier. There's a great bunch of guys. There's Mark Schumann Mark Schuh over there. He's, these are guys that are on our regular Sunday stream as well. Speaking of which, Sunday, tomorrow, at about noonish Central Time, stop by. We will be at least 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 of us streaming as we just do our various personal builds. With that, I'm going to call it an evening, call it a stream. Have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow, and I'll see you next time.